Trojan family, what's up, man? USCJ, it's the top of the morning. It is the top of the morning, man. Listen, I hope we still riding high from everything that's been taking place. Riding high for Mr. Michael Banuelos making that commitment. Forgive me for butchering his name yesterday, but it's Michael Banuelos making that commitment to USC, man. But I want to talk about real quick, discuss the impact, why the move to the Big Ten has become the biggest recruiting tool essentially for USC as of late. And I'm going to tell you this because you guys know the past few weeks, all of us, man, we've been feeling the burden. We've been feeling down and out. We've seen Miami getting these guys. We've seen Texas A&M getting these guys. We've seen Oklahoma getting these guys. We've seen everybody getting these guys. But as of late, man, I'm telling you, these past couple recruits that we've got, Tackett Curtis, Micah Banuelos, these two guys that we've got, man, this is very telling in the move to the Big Ten. You guys remember a couple of weeks ago, I told you guys, I said one of the things that I think that the Big Ten can do for us when it was first announced, and it was approximately about a little over a month ago, I think it was like June 8th, that the conference realignment, UCLA and USC is going to be pulling out. And I told you one of the things that I think this can really help us with is that if USC and UCLA are the only schools that are in the California area, you know, those two schools, especially in the area that we're at, as relates to the Los Angeles, California market, I told you schools like Oregon, schools like Washington, they're no longer going to get those recruits. I felt like in due time, I'm not just saying that it was something that's going to happen overnight, but I told you guys in due time, I could see those guys wanting to play. And I'm just repeating my words just to kind of refresh your memory of what I said in the video. I could see these guys wanting to play in big-time football, play in a conference like the Big Ten, and play in Ohio State or Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State. You know, all these different schools, man, Wisconsin. I could see guys saying, okay, if we want to stay close to home, we can still play in big-time football and still have an opportunity to play in big-time games and then be in big-time competition. A real individual that wants to compete, wants to play against the best because iron sharpens iron. We said that before. Iron sharpens iron. And so now we see yesterday this big-time commit, Michael Banuelos, how he made this commitment yesterday. But one of the most telling things of all, you know, he said it. Not only did they have him basically penciled in 100% crystal ball going to Oregon, but he himself said it. And I'm going to read you some of his direct quotes. He himself said, I was a lean toward Oregon. These are his quotes right here. He says, I was a lean toward Oregon. But this is what he said. This is the game changer right here. USCJ brought it to you before, and I'm about to bring it to you again. He said it here. He said, the Big Ten move was the cherry on top. The Big Ten move. See, USC, we were kind of getting lost in the sauce with some of this stuff, man. But I said this Big Ten move could possibly sway us. You know, we don't have all our stuff in place like some of the other schools, but this thing really, this Big Ten move really helped persuade us. And then some of those guys might read the article that I brought you guys the other day about the Big Ten possibly having a collective. You guys remember I told you guys about that? The Big Ten coming together with a collective. I brought that video the other day and said the Big Ten is now getting ready to form a collective, and that's going to help as well bring some of these guys in. So now we're starting to see all this stuff starting to come together. It's really coming together. And I believe with all my heart, I believe that Tackett Curtis, I believe that Michael Banuelos were both guys that love Lincoln Riley, that love the coaching staff. But I believe if this Big Ten move did not happen, and some of the other guys believe with me as well, because I've seen it in the comment section, I believe that these guys might have been going somewhere elsewhere. And Michael Banuelos said it himself. He said, I was a lean toward Oregon. You guys hit me in the comment section. You tell me what you think. And even after listening to his interview yesterday, one of the most telling things was this. Also, he said this, and this was making reference to Eleni Noah, another big-time offensive lineman who he happens to be friends with. He made these comments. I just want to quote it to you verbatim, because I want you guys to understand that there's some things shifting, there's some things moving and grooving, and USCJ's been on the case with these things. But listen, he said it here. He says, Elaney. He says, oh, he mentioned Elaney Noah. He said, we're coming. He said, we're coming, boy, Elaney Noah. And so listen, he made reference to that as he made his commitment, man. And who is Elaney Noah? For some of you guys that don't know, he's a big 6'4", 335-pound offensive guard from Sacramento, California. And he's a big-time guy. But listen, all the major recruiting guys who make their money off of recruiting, like let's see, Greg Bridges, he got him 100% crystal ball. Brandon Huffman, he has 100% crystal ball as well. So now we're talking about a 6'5", 335-pound guy possibly coming to USC. But listen, I want to get you some of this article that I read as it relates to the Pac-12 and the TV rights that was offered. And this shows you that the Pac-12 is essentially about to explode. But check this article out right here. Here it is right here. And this is one of the things I believe that Michael Benuelos, I believe he sensed that. Here's the article right here. This is an article off the Riddick, but this insider named Jason Scheer, he made reference to the Pac-12 and the offer that they were made. But here it is that they were made. Here it is right here for the TV rights. It says the number I heard from a few people last week was 24.5 million, which is brutal. It's not even close to being enough. I would say if the Pac-12 wants to keep schools involved, it's got to be closer to the 30s, talking about 30 million, 30s as a starting point. Now, and it could be a situation where ESPN did that on purpose. That could be the offer. We don't really know. Let's scroll up and take a look. It says it could be a low offer. And then the Pac-12 asks, other sources to raise that amount, which I think is possibly or probably the most likely situation. It says, but the initial ESPN offer that I heard is 24.5, and that is absolutely won't come close to keeping the conference alive. So this is it right here. And this is the article right here that's basically showing you that the Pac-12 is essentially about to explode and just become torn apart. So now we see the Pac-12 is essentially about to get ready to be essentially torn apart. And nobody wants to, Mr. Michael Benuelos, nobody wants him, Tackett Curtis, nobody wants to play in the Big Sky Conference. That's where Oregon's going to be playing. Nobody wants to play in the Mountain West Conference. That's possibly where Oregon's going to be playing. You see, they thought they were too good to play in the Big 12. And so now this thing is really beginning to backfire on them because they thought they were worth a little more than what they were. And now that the conference with Oregon and Washington and all these different teams, now they're only getting thrown to them 34.5 million per team. I mean, you talking about, they thought they were going to get more. They thought they were worth more. They thought their brand was more. And now it's backfiring on them. And Michael Benuelos, he said, I heard Oregon was supposed to be mentioned, going to the Big Ten. He said, but I don't see it happening. And so this is a major game changer. The Big Ten move is a major recruiting tool for the USC Trojans. And this is what I wanted you guys to understand. Like, things are really shifting now. This was a power play, and thank God our administration, thank God our athletic department, thank God they recognized that USC's worth, and thank God they realized that, listen, if you guys remember when Texas A&M went to Texas A&M in Missouri went to the SEC, you see things turned around for Texas A&M. All these recruits they started getting. All these, of course, they got the NIL, and they got the major collective and all those things. But then look at even Texas and Oklahoma. Look at things, everybody wants to play against the best competition. Nobody wants to be in no powder puff, no cream puff type league. So as a result, you're going to see individuals start flocking to these schools that have not only the resources, but then are going to be competing against the best. And USC, of course, and UCLA making this move to the Big Ten. This is the biggest recruiting tool that USC could have absolutely asked for. And so now we're about to start seeing. Some major shift. I believe Shelby's coming. I believe Elaney Noah's coming. I believe Deuce Robinson's coming. I believe all these guys are starting to get ready to make this thing happen and we're going to have a power team going into the Big Ten, man. It's about to be real deal go time. It's on and popping. It's on and cracking. You guys hit me in the comment section. You tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe. USC J32. Have a good Happy Tuesday. Get out, make some things happen, man. Fight on, fight on, fight on.